Hey students, so I'll be discussing chapter 4 briefly. Chapter 4 is on probability, which some students may remember taking that in undergraduate class or maybe even high school. But probability is pretty important. So a few questions that I want to discuss, and they may appear on your discussion board questions possibly. How does the concept of probability help researchers move from descriptive observation to empirical inference in social science research? Second question. What are the strengths and limitations of using the normal distribution as a model for real-world political or policy data? And number three, third question, why is it important to understand the area under the normal curve when interpreting probabilities? And how does that support research decisions? So, we'll begin with question number one, which I'm going to rephrase again. How does the concept of probability help researchers move from descriptive observation to empirical inference in social science research? So probability helps researchers quantify uncertainty and make reasoned expectations about outcomes instead of relying on intuition alone. In social science, that matters because many phenomena are available. So probability gives a way to estimate how likely an event or score is. Second question. What are the strengths and limitations of using the normal distribution as a model for real-world policy or political data? Excuse me. The normal distribution is useful because many variables cluster around a mean in a symmetric, bell-shaped curve, which makes probabilities easier to interpret. It makes your life and your job easier to figure that out. Its limitation is that not all real-world data are normal, especially skewed or categorical data. So using it blindly can lead to misleading conclusions. Question number three, the last question for this chapter that I want to discuss. And remember, like I always say, these are bite-sized pieces of knowledge. You don't have to have the whole candy bar. Just take bite-sized pieces. That's all you really need. Why is it important to understand the area under the normal curve when interpreting probabilities? And how does that support research decisions? So, the area under the normal curve represents probability. So understanding that area tells you how common or rare a score is. This is the basis for answering questions like what proportion falls above this value, or how likely is a value between 2 points. So that should conclude chapter 4 for the questions that I want you to focus on for the discussion board and for our in-class discussions. For those of you who are in my classes, I hope that these little bite-sized pieces are a way to alleviate anxiety that students sometimes have. You don't have to eat the whole candy bar. It's sometimes tempting to do that, but as you know by now, I like those little mini bite-sized candy bars very much because as a miniature man myself, I'm only 5'5", I can enjoy them and pretend that I'm a giant. So I know you're probably tired of hearing that joke by now, but I'm not going to stop. So thank you again for taking the time to listen to my mini lecture, and I'll see you in chapter 5. You have a great day.